out of every 100 doctors who learned about my case. Or rather, out of every 100 people who went through what I did with the stabbing, according to the experts, only one survives. So look at Trump. It was just a matter of 3 inches and he would have died. I think that neither he nor I was saved from anything. Look, the difference between Trump and me is his purchasing power and mine. Right? I'm struggling to pay for a lawyer. Even though I know that, the decision over there doesn't depend on a Rui Barbosa. It depends on other things. But yes, I could have stayed in the United States. I could be exiled in the United States now. I may not be competent in many things, but I have a name. I am a former president, and I have in my hands a wealth of information I gathered from around the world. Just because the guy talked for 3 hours with Putin, it doesn't matter. So yes, we do have information, and they even offered me a job there to work as a spokesperson in real estate sales, those kinds of things, you know? I decided to come here despite all the risks. I tell you, I have no obsession with power. I have a passion for my Brazil. And I believe that God saved me. If you look at the images, you'll see what happened. Just like we saw the image of Trump getting shot in the ear. It wasn't accidental. I believe that each of us has a mission here on this earth. You have your mission, I have mine. And you have yours. I will complete mine. Next month, I turn 70 years old. So that means that I've got more years in the rear view than in the windshield. The Brazilian people will not be disappointed in me, even if they choose to do something extremely malicious in the next few days.
What you said next month you're going to be 70 years old. And I looked at your birthday. Your birthday is the same as Ayrton Senna. You guys have a similar birthday. I have watched Senna's documentary 100+ times. I love Senna so much that I named my daughter Senna. My oldest daughter's name is Senna, same spelling, because of what he was to his country. When the last 2 days, Mr. President, I'm walking around and I'm asking people, tell me who are the heroes of Brazil. Everybody I talk to, they would say, Pele, Senna, and Bolsonaro. Why do you think your people love you so much?
A rare thing in a politician is to speak the truth. And I brought the truth to all of Brazil. I made the people believe in their country again. I faced at least one interference per week from the Supreme Federal Court to make my government unfeasible. I worked from Sunday to Sunday. I restored the people's admiration for the green and yellow colors. I helped them realize their potential. I created the motto, God, country, family, and freedom. I showed that there is something more important than life itself, which is freedom, and the people believed in me. And if you ask me, how do you do it? I don't know. The people like me. Am I the best among those out there? Yes, I am. I'm holding on because I don't just criticize. I show where the way out is, something no one else has done. I have the patience to talk to everyone, and that's something few politicians do. And it's not just me. Together with my ministers and secretaries, we created new leaders. I never attributed any gains to myself alone. I always shared the credit. Yes, I shared with all of them. We now have in our country some good governors, senators, deputies, and councilors emerging all over Brazil. So, how did I manage to do this? I don't know. Maybe because I am a country person from the interior of São Paulo. I never denied my roots, and never sought sympathy by saying, look everyone, I was a poor boy from the interior of Sao Paulo. My mother had 7 children. Vote for me? No. No, everyone here is equal. I am against quotas. I am against all of this. I've opposed the woke agenda since it first appeared in the world. I believe in equality, in meritocracy. I passed the exam for the military academy in Resende. It was a national exam with 38 openings, and I passed. I was accepted. I am no different from the other citizens of this country. You just need to have an opportunity and fight for it rather than expecting the state to assist you. And I always delivered this message to our people. They believe in us. I organized motorcycle rallies with 300,000 bikes. It was an unbelievable sight, and it's all recorded on video. We brought something different to the population. Now, I didn't come here. I didn't get this far just to back down because of one single person. One single person. A person who wouldn't withstand a confrontation with me over these truths. They wouldn't stand it. Someone who would seek a way to imprison me or even try something further since they hold the power. But we can win. We will win. It's not for me. It's not about me. When I was elected president, I thought to myself, my God, what was my sin to have to pay by occupying the presidency of the Republic? Then when my term began, important people from the legislature started to interfere with the presidency. They closed the doors and said, I want this, this, and this. You are not in charge. That's how things worked in Brazil. I still stood my ground. And listen to me. There's another matter I'm trying to explain today. Do you know which is the most coveted state-owned company in Brazil? It has always been Itaipu Binacional. Do you know why? Because it hasn't been audited. If I tell you who had their hands in there in the company, I'm sure you'd be shocked. It's all documented. I didn't want to, and I didn't try to create a government based on retaliation. I never said, let's dig up some old bones. Let's go after these people. I didn't persecute anyone, not a single person. Completely different from what the Workers' Party is doing now, despite always being advised otherwise. Olavo de Carvalho, whom people in Brazil know, has long talked about confronting the left. I thought I could do things differently when it came to confronting the left, or rather, not confronting them. But I didn't. I'm not going to say I regret it. I'll do things differently if I return. These people need to leave public life, just like Trump is doing in the United States. Trump is trying to drain the swamp. Just look at the example of the FBI you have there, or even the CIA, right? He's going after people who are part of the Democrats. Here, the situation is no different, and I know how to handle it. And the best part is that Trump is doing this in his second term, so I know it's possible to drain the swamp here in Brazil too, and I know that we can do things differently, that we can make Brazil thrive. The right path is to increasingly form good partnerships, because if you look at my example, whom did I stimulate partnerships and business with? With the Arab world, Japan, South Korea, the United States. That's what I did during my term. I didn't try to get close to Iran and Venezuela, unlike Lula. And Cuba. Our money is funding projects in Cuba, ports in Cuba, subway in Caracas, airport in Angola. Money for Bolivia. Bolivia even took 2 of our refineries. And what was the role of the Brazilian government? They expropriated, took 2 of our refineries, and what did Celso Amorim say? Celso Amorim was the Minister of Foreign Affairs at the time, and later became the Minister of Defense here in Brazil. He said that Brazil was showing imperialistic behavior and that the refinery was theirs, that the territory was theirs, and as a result, the refinery was theirs. The outcome for us? Higher gas prices. In other words, that grand agreement called the Foro de São Paulo was in place. The Foro de São Paulo was in full swing. What is the Foro de São Paulo? It was created in 1990. Who was in it? Lula, Fidel Castro, FARC, which is the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia. So that means that dictatorships from almost all over the world, they created this grand forum to help each other during elections. And the press here never believed it. They thought it was a conspiracy theory. And the answer is right there. The truth is becoming more evident to all of us, even Lula himself. He is saying now that Hamas is not a terrorist group. He talks as if he believes the group is defending something that always belonged to them. So does that mean killing children, raping women, beheading men, setting people on fire isn't terrorism for Lula? And a group here in Brazil worked to bring Lula back, to get him out of prison, to make him eligible, because they were saving democracy from the dictator Jair Bolsonaro. You do not see any action from me to censor the media, social media, or traditional media. Nothing. Zero. Quite the opposite. We had absolute freedom in Brazil under my leadership. But as soon as I left, those people who returned started to censor. With the help of the Supreme Federal Court, who would have thought? They are saying that they have ended Bolsonarism, along with the minister, and even the current president of the Supreme Federal Court, Minister Barroso. He even said at a UNE meeting, the National Union of Students, we defeated Bolsonarism. How did he defeat it? With what actions? A question, did you say get money from the TSC or not? And I hope this information comes from the United States. We can't get out of this hole alone. No, we can't fight alone. We can't fight with just what we have here in Brazil. We need to find an alternative for this. We need the United States. We need this information. I hope Elon Musk can clarify this, whether the money came here or not. I hope that guy Mike, that Mike Benz, I hope they show whether he was right about what he said or not. If you said he didn't exist, Bolsonaro would be the president of Brazil now. I truly believe that this is true. We just need proof, which I believe will come. After all, after all, USAID money even went to terrorist groups in the Middle East.
Brazil, I'm so glad you're watching this. I want to tell you something here. Do you know what's the one thing tyrants or criminals in politics, in your government, you know what's the one thing they hate? Is for the people to have hope. It's been said, man and women can live 40 days without food, 4 days without water, 4 minutes without air, but only 4 seconds without hope. When I was in Brazil, we had dinner with Nicolas Ferreira. And while we're having dinner, we gave him a shirt and we took a picture together. It's called Future Looks Bright with Brazilian flag. I would love nothing more than to see thousands and thousands of people in Brazil to wear a shirt that says Future Looks Bright with your flag. Just for Brazil, we made these custom shirts for you. If you want to inject the spirit of hope in Brazil, go place 1 order, 2, 3, buy it for your peers, your family. Click on a link below or go to vtmerch.com and sport your Future Looks Bright shirt in Brazil. Let the dictators, let the tyrants get so angry the fact that you are optimistic about the future. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.